Welcome, brothers and sisters, to Mormon Movie Reviews, where LDS movie lovers belong. I'm your humble host, D-Days, and I'm here with Rebecca.
Hi, everybody. So happy to be here.
Hey, today is March 12th, 2023. This is episode 83, where we will review The Phone Call, released in 1977. This has a running time of 23 minutes. It's unrated, and it's a comedy. Now, we're going to watch this short in totality together while we give you some insightful and occasionally irreverent commentary.
The Phone Call is an amazing video. It's about a young man named Scott who suffers from a lack of self-confidence. He thinks that a mail order karate class is going to help him. So in order to make money, he starts working at a burger joint so that he can call the love interest of his life, Pam. At the burger shop, he meets another girl named Becky who helps him learn how to talk to girls and gain more self-confidence. But Becky herself has a secret. She's in an abusive relationship.
Phone Call is based on a short story by Jack Whalen published in The New Era in February of 1976, which we will discuss more at the end of the movie. Now, if you want to get in touch with me, I'm at mormonmoviereviews@gmail.com.
Hello, Pam. This is Scott. How would you like to go to the movies with me Saturday night?
Would she ever? Now, this is our first look at Mark McClure. Mark McClure was born in 1957 in California. He's an actor probably best known for Back to the Future. He was in Superman and also Apollo 13. He's very prolific all the way up until just recently, but he's a very prolific actor, and he was quite a get for this particular short. He also starred in Freaky Friday, and also he went on to star as Jimmy Olsen in the original Superman movies, and he was Dave McFly in all three of the Back to the Future movies.
I thought that he looked familiar, and now that you mentioned Freaky Friday, that is where I remember him from.
You betcha.
Your money is safe at State Savings. Time 5:41. Temperature 82 degrees.
Thank you.
What a coward.
It's called a test run. You do that when you're going to call somebody.
Oh, gotcha. Ooh, I wonder what Scott's thinking about, Rebecca.
I don't know, but I love that soft focus. That's how you know it's the romantic interest. She's not really in focus, is she?
Now, what's it? Is it that glamour shots? Is that like the glamour shots from the 90s? Is that place still around, by the way?
I hope not. I had one of those, and they jacked my hair to Jesus and took the picture. So it looked just like that, fuzzy.
You bet.
Hello, Pam speaking. Hello?
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 Do something.
Who is this?
He's frozen.
Hey, wait a minute. That's not how you're supposed to do it, Scott.
He's a little distracted there.
Hey, be careful, buddy.
Oh.
Now here is Pam's house. Now he's got a one-track mind, Rebecca, and I don't think it's focused on doing his home teaching.
No, not at all. Even her house is in soft focus. This Pam is the total package. She's amazing.
He landed that one well, though.
He's trying to impress the father. Oops.
Yeah, he crashed. Yeah, I can't help but see some funny parallels between Scott and Marty McFly. You know what I mean? Because Marty McFly, he also crashed. He was looking at Lorraine, in the movie.
Yep.
He climbed up there, and I see a lot of parallels there. Now, what does this say here?
It says, "Do you lack confidence? Learn karate." Now that makes sense.
Yeah, but I don't think this is going to end well. I don't know. I'm going out on a limb here. I don't think Scott is the karate type. I'm not sure about that, though.
We'll see. You do a lot of things for a woman that you wouldn't normally do.
True.
Do you lack confidence? Does the sun set in the west?
Now we've all been. I say we've all been there, but I've been there, Scott. I can really sympathize there. Now here's our first look here at this is a BYU church video, and it was filmed in Provo, Utah, at Ripples on Provo Canyon Road. Have you ever gone to Ripples before, Rebecca?
I think by the time I made it to Provo for college, it might have been out of business, but I'm not sure. It looks like a lot of other places in Provo that I went to, though.
Yeah, it's very famous. Now, here's what Ripples Market here looks like. Here's the pictures, and yes, this is a real place that Scott's going to be working at. And I used to live right by here, Rebecca. In fact, I used to work at Dave's Market, which is just a stone's throw away from Ripples here.
I know where Dave's Market is now that you mentioned that. So, yep, I know exactly where you're talking about.
You betcha. This is right. So this is all very accurate. It's very cool. Unfortunately, Ripples Drive-In, the owner, he died while hiking in the foothills of Provo just a couple of years ago. He was very beloved. Todd Ripple passed away over the weekend. So that's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Now, the former Ripples Drive-In, it was listed for sale just a couple of years ago, and I'm not exactly sure what happened, but yeah, it was listed for sale, and there's where it's located. In fact, a lot of the movie here takes place right here. you know, and I used to live right over here. So, I mean, I used to live right here. So, this is all very, very near and dear to my heart, but it's kind of sad that he passed on and that it's been put up for sale. But yes, that's the place where the movie takes place.
Hey, Becky, I'm going to the bank. Show this new kid the ropes before we get too busy, okay?
Okay, now you try it.
Now, here's our first look at Michelle Patrick. She played in The Phone Call, Goodbye Franklin High, and 8 is Enough. So she has a very small amount of IMDb page and was mostly active in the late 70s. Those are some nice porn shoulders, by the way.
Yeah, that's kind of surprising in an LDS video.
Nothing to it.
Oh, no. Oh, he's got that first day on the job enthusiasm, you know, but it's not working out.
But I think you eat a little too much chocolate.
I'm trying.
You certainly are.
Hot dog. Hamburger.
Could you put down separate checks, please?
Now, Rebecca, he's got to take the order, and he has to make the food.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine that because I used to work at a ballpark and I've had that look of panic on his face on my own face. When you have a whole group of people that come up to your window, I only had to take the orders. I did not have to make the food. I can't imagine that level of multitasking.
Yeah, and Becky, all she has to do is make the drinks. She's got the easy job. So Scott, he's really got his work cut out for him. Yikes.
Oh,
I just really like it here.
Should be home practicing on my bassoon.
Ah, the bassoon. Now, Rebecca, if you're listening to the musical score, what have you heard in the background from this musical score?
that's right. There's a little foreshadowing, some musical foreshadowing. I would say we've heard that bassoon, but it probably hasn't made sense until right now when we find out that Scott himself is a bassoon player.
You betcha. Now, if you read the New Era story, actually in the New Era, he plays the oboe, but I guess, they're both double reed instruments. Now, this just makes me remember real quick, Rebecca, that I may have seen Scott in another commercial.
This week on Sunday Arts, Australia's air guitarists take a back seat as we go behind the scenes of the 12th Annual Air Bassoon Championships.
I guess I've been playing air bassoon for about 6 years now. I actually started as an air clarinetist, but the bassoon just felt more right.
From the heats right through to the showdown final.
I do a lot of solo work, but in the end, nothing beats being in front of that full air orchestra. It's just magic.
Join us for Sunday Arts, 4 o'clock this weekend on ABC.
Is your girlfriend here tonight?
Yeah. My air girlfriend is here.
Did you catch that last line about his air girlfriend being in the being there, Rebecca?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, his air girlfriend.
His air girlfriend. It's all about the imagination. That's it.
Yeah, I think I recognize Scott from the Air Bassoon Championship. So we're going to find out that he really does play the bassoon here coming up.
What?
Oh, it's bassoon. It's like a balloon with S's. It's an instrument. You think Mr. Schremer will fire me?
Mr. Beamer. He only yells like that when he's mad. I guess no one ever tried making French fried hot dog buns before.
Yeah, well, I know I can pick all this up. The first few days were always tough.
Why did you take this job anyway?
Well, if I want to get married in the temple for time and all eternity to Pam, I got to pay some serious tithing, right, Rebecca?
That's right. He's got to start making money now so he can pay that 10%. And Pam, I'm sure, will settle for no less. He can see that right away.
You bet.
I need money.
Hey, careful, son. You can buy anything in this world with money.
Paper route wasn't enough.
For what?
I'm going to take a karate course. Got to build up my confidence. Got to call up this girl.
Hey, maybe I was a little hard on you. I'd hate to see you lose your job. Make it easier.
Hey, come on, move it.
Gotta go. Have fun playing your balloon.
Yeah, it's a bassoon.
Come on, move it. I haven't got all day. Let's go. I'm in a hurry.
Yeah, hustle up, Toots. Now,
Wow.
sweet ride, man. Sweet ride, but he needs to work on his manners.
A little bit. That's that quintessential 80s stereotype of the tough guy, right?
This is our first look at David Stirajo. He is known for playing in The Phone Call, Dojo Kids, and Stewardess School. He was mostly active in the late 70s and early 80s, but he's going to play the part of Joe, who's Becky's boyfriend.
Yes, sir. What can I do for you?
Tell Becky Joe's here.
Now, in Waylon's story, Joe is a mechanic who works nearby, but stops by every day at lunch for a hamburger and to visit with his girlfriend, Becky. Rebecca, how old do you think Joe? How old is Joe?
That was my comment. He looks like late 30s kind of, and Becky's supposed to be a teenager, right? So yes, this is definitely a questionable relationship, I would say.
But based on Mormon background, it all lines up perfectly well. There's nothing to be alarmed about, right?
You know, I was going to make that joke, but I wasn't sure what kind of a program this was.
Definitely, Joe, he's got a sweet ride, but he needs to work on his manners. That's for sure.
Yep.
But he does have a very handsome 80s look going for him.
He does. And that kind of sideways glance with the arched eyebrows. Yeah, that was all the rage in the 80s. We all fell for that look.
Yeah. Did you go for bad boys like Joe or no? You went for
I did.
Yeah?
Although I did date a clarinet player for a long time. So I guess I did have a fondness for the reed instrument. But overall, the guys that caught my eye were exactly that arched eyebrow, that bad boy look.
Rebecca, to my knowledge, most clarinet players aren't bad boys. I mean, come on, clarinet player.
No, that's what I'm saying. I was dating the clarinet player, but I had my eye on it. Yeah, it was one of those.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. Let's see what Joe. Let's see. Obviously, Joe, he definitely needs to work on his manners. Let's see what he's up to for his lunch break.
Becky, Joe's here.
Just a minute.
Just a minute.
I can hear. You must be the nerd that plays the balloons.
Bassoons.
Takes all kinds.
Now, look in the background here. You're going to see the Joe's lack of manners are going to be front and center over here. He's slamming down his food, and he just about sprays his drink all over his girlfriend.
Storms off.
Yeah, Joe's a real jerk.
What's your favorite mall?
Favorite mall? Easy. Cedar Creek Mall, the only mall personally paid for by Elohim himself. You know, I stand all amazed at the mall Jesus built for me.
And I'm sure that Scott's next line is, "Hey, Becky, let's go shopping," right?
We'll see.
Butterscotch, what?
Butterscotch, wait a minute. Oh, butterscotch malt. MALT. That's the famous Utah accent coming through where people drop the T's off at the end of words.
Yep, that's exactly right. Kitten, button, malt. Leads to a lot of confusion.
Yeah, that's funny that they've got the accent in this short down so well that they dropped off the T there.
I'll make you one without spilling one drop on the floor.
Thanks, I'm not in the mood.
If I had my bassoon here, I'd play something happy.
That is literally the worst Mormon pickup line I've ever heard.
Yeah, if I had a nickel for every girl that fell for that, right?
I don't think you'd have much money.
I would have no nickels. That's right.
No, I don't think you'd have much money. He needs to work on his game, no doubt.
Yep.
Hey, don't worry about me. That's nothing new. Joe's a little hard to understand. Guess I've seen too many movies.
Yeah, I thought romance was supposed to be romantic.
Busy day.
Yeah, sure was. Becky?
Hmm?
Can I walk you home?
Ooh.
Long walk.
I have long feet.
Okay, come on.
You know what they say about guys with long feet, don't you, Rebecca?
Well, I've heard a few things, but I'm not sure which of them I can repeat on your program. Okay. So let's move on.
Okay, fair enough.
You're not very talkative today. Scott, what's the matter?
Yeah, Becky asks him what's the matter. And you know, Rebecca, when you read the New Era story, Scott's becoming more and more bothered by the church's race, temple, and priesthood ban. And who can blame him? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but how can he possibly bring that up to Becky? I mean, especially back in that day.
No, the New Era, no, he's not bothered by that. I just threw that in there. But yeah, you get, this is 1977.
I know.
Yeah, somehow that doesn't make it in there now.
Becky, what's wrong with me?
Nothing.
Come on, be honest. I can take it.
Nothing's wrong with you. Except maybe burning grilled cheese sandwiches all the time.
So that I only weigh 26,000 grams?
Grams?
I sound bigger in the metric system. It's the bassoon.
No.
Now, the bassoon, it really hasn't made it with big rock roots yet, but I plan on forming a rock root. I'm I'm gonna have an electronic bassoon.
Now, Rebecca, you're in a rock band, I understand. An electronic bassoon, would that how would that fit in with you?
I'm not exactly sure. It would have to be sort of a guest instrument that maybe had a little solo. I don't really see it being part of the regular ensemble. The electric bassoon. I don't even know if that really exists. We'll probably have to look that up.
I don't know if it exists, but I wish Scott the very best with it. I think he's going to have a tough time with that one.
I haven't figured out the details yet. When can I get a date?
Story of my life, Scott. Story of my life. This short is hitting way too close to home.
Beats me. Do you try to get dates?
Actually, no. But I phoned Pam once.
What'd she say?
Oh, hello.
That's all.
I'd rather not go into it.
Hey, maybe you just need a little practice.
Practice?
Listen, why don't you call me tonight? Just for practice.
Okay. I'll call you tonight.
Yeah, I like where this is going.
I do too.
What's in the background there?
Is that the bassoon?
Yeah, there's the bassoon. It's
There
in the
it
background.
is.
Yeah, it's yeah, he's telling the truth.
Hello?
Hello, Becky. This is Scott.
Hello, Scott.
Hello, Becky. Yeah.
Well, why don't you ask me something?
Yeah, ask me something. Okay, I will. Do you sell your signs and tokens for money? You have them, I presume. Oh no, actually, sorry, wrong movie. Sorry.
One movie.
Becky. What does a girl look for in a guy?
Yeah, what does a girl look for in a guy? Well, the first thing I understand in Provo that a girl looks for is the garment line, or as I like to call it, the celestial smile. Is that accurate, Rebecca? Or
That's absolutely accurate. When I was growing up in the young women's program in the 80s, they told me to always check for that and to beware of young men that actually wrapped masking tape around their arms or right there.
What?
You know, because if you would, yeah, I'm not kidding. Like if you would pat the arm, you might feel what feels like a garment line, but it's not. It's masking tape. So you got to be careful.
Unbelievable.
It's true.
Well, that's hard to say, Scott. It depends on the girl.
Well, what do you like?
Yeah, what do you like? Now, I found this in the DVD extras here. Now, I found this in the DVD extras, Rebecca, that Becky is really into, actually, no, I didn't find that in the DVD extras. I don't know what Becky's into, actually, now that you mention it.
Do you like somebody who treats you rotten like Joe?
Hey, slow down there, Romeo. That's none of your business. Okay, buddy?
Wow.
You don't like him very much, do you?
What do I know?
He's the success, not me.
Maybe it's something I should try. Okay, let's say I came home from work to your house, and,
I sat down in front of the TV, and I had something cold to drink, and I turned on the game. Okay, you say something to me.
How's the game?
don't bother me when I'm watching the game.
Can't you let me have 5 minutes in peace?
Kind of sounded just like Joe, huh?
I don't like it.
Well, that's what Joe does to you.
Is it?
Yeah. You would never do a dumb thing like marry him, would you?
I mean, you're not serious about him.
I don't know.
Now, in the story, Joe has already asked Becky to marry her. So it's a little bit different than what we're seeing in the movie. How's this reaction going so far here, Rebecca? What do you think of the training?
I love Jack Whalen. He's one of my favorite authors when I was growing up. So, but I don't think I've read this story. I've seen this video and I don't know. I think that Scott is really telling her some hard, cold facts and she does not like what he's pointing out.
No, he doesn't.
I bet she treats you the same way after you were married.
I never treat you that way, though.
How would you treat me?
I treat you special.
Scott, look, I think we better hang up now.
I said it wrong, did I?
No, goodbye.
You never say anything right.
Yeah, Scott's got a lot to learn about women.
You're mad at me, aren't you?
No, I'm just thinking.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I said anything to hurt your feelings last night about you and Joe.
Hey, maybe I needed to hear it.
Yeah, I think you're great, Becky.
Yeah, well, I think you're nice too.
I wish I were. I feel like your friendly neighborhood zero.
Well, you're not. You've just told yourself that so many times, you're starting to believe it.
If I let it in football, then I'd be somebody. Then Pam would go out with me.
You're somebody now. I think you're the most decent guy I've ever met.
Think so? No. Not me. If I was just better at talking to people, like my dad, he talks to everybody. He just walks right up and starts talking to them, even gas station attendants. By the time the gas tank's filled, they're old friends.
You can learn. Talk to the customers.
Why not? Here you go.
Thanks.
How are things in California? Are the oranges doing well?
What?
The oranges in California. How they doing?
Get a clue, Scott. He's got a lot to work on, doesn't he, Rebecca?
Well, he does. And he's of the age that he's probably going to be leaving on an LDS mission in a year or so. He's really got to get this down. He's got to learn to talk to people about, uncomfortable topics.
True.
Well, I guess if we haven't heard anything, I guess we can assume they're doing okay, and we'll have a big crop of oranges next year. Yeah, wouldn't you say? I see you're driving a Volkswagen. Do you get good gas mileage?
Gas mileage? I don't know, really.
You don't know? I think that's funny. You buy a small car so you can get good gas mileage, and you don't know what gas mileage you're getting.
Now, far be it from me to give Scott any advice for picking up young ladies, but I do have one pointer for him, and I think that he should go to his best asset. I think Scott should lead with this. Any chance you ladies want to see a kick-ass bassoon? That seems to be, I don't know, that seems to be his best pickup line. That's my humble recommendation, but what do I know?
Well, it's better than oranges and gas mileage. I'm telling you. At least it's sort of intriguing. What's a bassoon?
Exactly.
I think that's funny. Don't you think that's funny?
They're literally running away from him.
Whew, this is a hard scene. I want to watch it like this. It's difficult.
Yeah, he's got a lot to work on.
I forgot their change. See what I mean? You never say the right thing. That's why I'm afraid to call Pam.
Hey, maybe after work, if you want, I'll help you phone her.
Really?
If you promise me one thing, don't talk to any more customers.
It's a deal.
What's wrong?
My voice.
God, don't worry.
Wait a minute. Wait, I need some practice. Wait, hello?
Hello?
Hello? Pam, this is Scott. Your paper boy? Oh, really? Oh, tell your father I've really been trying not to throw it up on the roof anymore. Oh, no trouble. No trouble. Goodbye. Maybe I'll call her a couple times to break the ice.
Can you rate that on a scale of 1 to 10, Rebecca? How was that?
Ooh, as a first attempt at a phone call, well, at least he got her name right, and he tried his hardest. I would say maybe a 3, maybe. Maybe that's being generous. I don't know. Especially to say, hi, it's your paper boy. I'm not sure.
Oh, boy, Scott. Now, his package arrived. He's been waiting for something here, and let's see what we got. What do we got there?
Oh, no. Here it is.
The Kung Fu Power Karate course has finally arrived in the mail.
Oh, boy.
Now, he's practicing at home here. What in the world is going on in there?
Hey, Becky, Becky. Hey, wow, look at that. Doesn't that make you mad?
Maybe I've gotten used to it.
Becky,
Huh?
you know I play the bassoon.
Yeah,
And that doesn't matter to you, we're still friends?
sure.
Well, I'm in an orchestra. We play classical music.
That's nice. Someone's got to play it.
Really? Well, next Thursday night, the Orchestra Society's having a dinner and a dance at the hotel ballroom. And I was wondering, there'll be a lot of really old guys there, but there'll be a lot of really young guys too, your age. The brass section. Will you go with me? It's a free dinner.
So let me get this straight. Scott is asking Becky out to a classical music concert, a free dinner at a hotel. May the force be with you, Scott. That's pretty bold for Provo 1970.
Yeah, that's not bad. And not only that, but he's telling her that the brass section is hot, right? She might be interested. And in my experience in high school bands, he's not wrong.
Oh, Scott, I'd like to, but...
That's great. We've spent food all this time together, and we really never sat down and ate together.
Smooth move, Scott. He doesn't even wait for her to say yes. Now, that is PhD level of pickup artistry on display. I underestimated him.
Yeah, no, that was good. That was good.
Nice.
What about Joe?
Not afraid of Joe.
Well, it is his night to bowl. So what are you going to say?
Don't worry. Got it all figured out. a little light conversation to put her at ease, and then I'll casually ask if she wants to go to the movies with me.
Now, what's funny here is that even by now, Becky has Pam's phone number memorized. He doesn't even have to tell her. Yeah, he's seeming to have some heart palpitations here.
That's right.
Hello? Is this Pamela Robertson of 1054 Riverside Drive?
Now, thank goodness Pam's a homebody. She always answers the phone. That's the good part about it.
Her parents are not screening her calls. This
No.
typically happened in Provo in the 80s. So no, she got to get right on the phone.
Yeah, or maybe she's looking forward to his calls. You know what I mean? She wants that call.
She could be sitting by the phone. I did that sometimes in the 80s too.
You betcha.
This is Scott McCorvick of 619 Riverside Drive.
A little light conversation, remember?
Dad?
Say something.
I saw you spraying your dandelions a few days ago. What kind of weed killer do you use?
That's some major stalker vibes there, Rebecca. Weed
Wow,
killer?
he's like doing the heavy breathing into the phone and then talking about weed killer. Yeah, I'd be getting my dad on the phone saying, I don't know what's happening.
And he knows
Poor
her
Scott.
exact address. This is
That's
just
right.
it is a little creepy here.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's okay. You don't have to go all the way to your garage to find out. I'll ask your father. Yeah, I bet you did a great job, though. Yeah, I bet you killed off every dandelion in your yard.
Movie.
That's one thing I really like about you, Pam. You're really very thorough. Thank you. I try to be thorough, too. Pam, when I get out of high school, I'm going to go to college.
Hey, what about his mission? Hey, after you get out of high school, don't forget that mission, Scott. Aren't you forgetting something?
He's never going to win over a girl in Provo by skipping over the mission. That's got to be the focus.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. I don't want you to think I was going to get married right away.
Oh, why did you say that?
Look, I'm putting her at ease. What? Oh. Does it sound like I'm talking to somebody? That sure is funny. Well, keep it up with your lawn. Yeah, goodbye.
What? That's it.
Scott, you didn't ask her.
Didn't come up. Becky, watch this.
Scott, that's fantastic.
Where do those little leaguers get here?
Wait a minute. The Little Leaguers? Wait, Scott's going to beat up the Little Leaguers? Help me out here.
I don't know. He's becoming a badass, I think. You know what I mean? He's just, his whole personality is changing. He's turning into Joe.
All right. It doesn't matter. Whoever's in front of him, he's going to mow him down. Okay, I got it.
That's right.
Uh-oh, I hear Joe. So what do you see with those boards there, Rebecca?
Oh, I see what he's doing here. He's kind of fixed the situation.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he's not as strong as he's making himself out to be.
You haven't forgotten about the dinner dance tonight, have you?
No.
You won't have to bring any money. I'm going to pay for everything. I've already called in our reservations. They're saving 2 chickens for us.
I'm worried Joe's gonna find out.
Wait a minute. Becky didn't tell her boyfriend that she's going to a fancy hotel dinner and a concert?
Yeah, this is not going to end well. This is not looking good.
Well, actually, when I think about it, that is the Mormon way. You know what I mean? Just like Joseph Smith, he didn't tell the other people. So he's in perfectly good company,
That's probably true.
Becky, I'm not afraid of Joe. Besides, you said he bowls on Thursday nights. Hey, how's it going?
It's not.
Oh.
Fire sprinklers went off in the bowling alley last night. They closed it down a couple of days.
Whoa. Wow. Too bad.
Yeah, that is too bad. That's seriously too bad.
That's a problem.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Uh-oh. Confrontation time. Here he comes.
Hey, kid,
Becky says you got a date with her tonight.
Well, it's really not a date. You see, I play in the symphony, and once a year we have a dinner dance, and I thought it'd be nice for Becky and me.
She's not going.
Joe, you don't own me.
That's true.
You either come out here or I'm coming in after you.
You know, I really hope that karate course was accredited at this point in time. You know what I mean?
That's right. Here's the moment.
Yeah, I got a bad feeling about this.
So do I.
I should in all fairness warn you, although I may appear to be harmless, I've been trained in the ancient martial arts of the Orient.
You have a choice. Either break your date with Becky or I'm going to break your arm.
You know, Rebecca, isn't Becky free to choose whomever she wants to go out with or no one at all?
You know, it is Provo in the 80s, so that may not be exactly accurate.
Yeah. Oh,
we would hope so, though. We would hope so.
One would hope so.
If you do that, there'll be a lawsuit, assault and battery.
Break the date.
Why? So you can yell at her and make her feel like 2 cents? She's worth more than that.
I'm not going to break your arm. I'm going to break your head.
Okay, wait. I'm going to break this board. With my hand. Don't press your luck, Joe.
Uh-oh. Sweep the leg. That was the 80s thing to do.
Okay.
Come on.
Think I scared him?
No, I don't think you scared him. But at least Becky stood up to Joe for the first time in the film. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right. She was protecting the underdog right there. Maybe her maternal instincts kind of kicked in.
Looking foxy, Scott. Looking good.
Hi.
Why don't you come on in and dance with us? We haven't got dates either.
Now, these must be the incredibly hot brass players that we've heard so much about, Rebecca. Hey, not exactly Magic Mike material, but hey, Provo 1980, I'll take whatever I can get.
That's right. I mean, one of them has a fro. Of course, they said they don't have dates, so maybe that isn't the brass section. Maybe that's the flute section. We don't know.
Not too sure about it.
You guys go ahead. I'm waiting for someone.
You? Who? Female bassoon.
No, her.
Hello, Dolly.
You're going with her?
Sure.
Now, Becky agreeing to go on a date with Scott is literally proof of God's existence, and that's a major testimony builder for me, Rebecca.
I think so too. Wow.
There's hope for anyone.
There's hope for anyone. And look how his friends look at him now. I mean, he's the man.
Yeah.
Take it easy, boys.
Stay cool, Daddy-O.
God, I wish you'd forget about this mail order confidence stuff and just do it. Tell yourself you can do it and do it.
I can do it. I can't do it.
Oh, would you go make the phone call?
Right, the phone call, the name of the film, the phone
There
call.
it is.
And what is
This
this?
is the moment.
Is that a cowboy shirt, Rebecca? What is that?
Those were really big
That's a
in the
bold
80s.
choice.
Yeah, no, and her pantsuit
Yeah.
was to die for. I have to say, I would probably wear that today. It's nice.
Hello, Pam. This is Scott. Did you find out what weed killer you're using? Oh, yeah, I'm sure it's really good.
Now, I'm beginning to think that Becky's so-called telephone coaching it's not improving very much. We've had a number of coaching sessions, and we are still, it's not getting any better. You know what I mean?
No, she's not making any kind of headway with this particular student, is she?
No, I'm afraid not.
Pam, there's something I want to ask you.
Hey, listen, Scott, bro, do not ask her about California oranges, Volkswagen gas mileage, or anything about weed killer. Okay, that's not going to work, dude.
You know, I had braces once, too. I mean, that's something we both shared, isn't it? Oh, no. No, Becky's just a friend. Why? Oh, really? He is, huh? What? Well, you tell him Becky's a fine person. No, Becky broke up with Joe. After I fought him.
Wait a minute. Becky broke up with Joel? When did that happen? Off screen?
It must be implied, I guess. Maybe that's the only way she was able to go to the dance. She finally told him to get lost.
Maybe, brothers and sisters, the Lord does work in mysterious ways. So, and wait a minute, Scott outfought Joe. He was he literally, Joe just walked towards him and he literally just fell down backwards. I don't think so.
It's a long story. Some guy wants to take you out next week.
Was he at the party last night?
Yeah. And remember the salad bar? Remember the guy who offered to help when I spilled the clam chowder on your shoe?
Oh, him.
Hey, Becky, don't tell yourself it couldn't happen. Pam, let me tell you a little something about Becky. Hope she won't mind me saying. But we both work in the drive-in. Well, when it comes to cleaning the grease trays in the grill, she doesn't do it once a month. She does it once a week. You know what I mean? And she's special.
Yeah, Becky is definitely special enough to be Scott's third plural wife. That's how special she is.
Yep.
Listen, you tell Mike to come down here tomorrow, and I'll put in a good word to Becky about him. Pam, why don't you come down with Mike, and I'll buy you a banana split at absolutely no cost to you.
Yeah, that you drive a hard bargain, Scott. Our hero here is now he's two-timing two girls at the same time, Becky and Pam. He probably knows his Mormon church history very well. Kudos, my brother.
That's right. He's got it going on now.
Yeah, he sure does.
But only for you, okay? Not Mike. Yeah, okay. Okay. See you later. Poor girl.
What do you mean?
Hey, she's really falling for me.
How can you tell?
Maybe I shouldn't say anything, but on my way to work this morning, she was outside spraying for crabgrass.
And that's the end of the movie. Now, can you explain this ending, Rebecca? Spraying for crabgrass. How does the movie end on that? What is the meaning?
No, I can completely explain it. Having been a young woman in the 80s, if there's somebody that is going to be driving by on their bike or in their car, you make sure that you're outside doing some innocuous task. So you look like you don't want to be outside to see them, but you're really there to see them. So either that or her dad said no allowance unless you do it. But I'll take Scott's ending because that means she likes him. And that's a happy romantic ending.
Now, the phone call is based on a short story by Jack Whalen, which was published in the New Era in February of 1976, which was titled Sometimes a Phone Call. Now, so this is the outline of that February 1976 New Era, which, what was the New Era, by the way? What is the New Era, Rebecca?
The New Era was an LDS church magazine for probably 12 and up. So this particular issue, I would have been too young to probably have gotten. I didn't start getting the New Era till about 1978, but it was full of stories that would appeal to teenagers, faith-promoting stories, dating advice, answers to questions, with definitely a bent toward the teenage crowd.
You bet. Now, so here we see Spencer Kimball with Marriage the Proper Way. And then if you go down, here's Jack Whalen's Sometimes a Phone Call. If you click on the Sometimes a Phone Call, this is a fictional story, but it's supposed to have a faith-promoting a narrative that goes along with it. I just want to read the first line of this, which says, on Scott's 16th birthday, his father entered Scott's room and clearing off a stack of oboe music from a chair so he could sit down, he said, okay, you've been asking us to let you date Pam. You're 16 now, so go ahead and ask her out. Now, why is Scott having to wait until he's 16 years old here?
Well, that was the rule. I'm not sure if it's the rule now, but when I was growing up, that was the rule. If you were going to turn 16 on Saturday and someone asked you to prom on Friday, you could not go. It was a very strict brick wall right there. You couldn't date till you were 16.
Absolutely. And that's why in the story, he has to wait until he's 16 years old before he can start asking Pam out. Now, a couple of last thoughts here on this short. It's very patriarchal, this entire concept. We're fighting over a helpless girl. Really? Is that the vibe, or am I just projecting too much into a simple story? What do you think, Rebecca?
No, I think that was a vibe in a lot of those videos at that time. Think of Johnny Lingo. Think of some of the more popular ones like that. That the fate of the woman has to be decided by the men in her life. And
right.
That was just, and that isn't just LDS videos, and that was everywhere, I think. But yeah, definitely you saw that. And the woman seemed fairly comfortable in that role. She just expected, of course, my fate will kind of be decided.
Yeah, she only said one thing to Joe. She said, you don't own me. But she did stick up to him slightly and apparently broke up with him off of screen. So it was nice to see. It seems like Scott had a more positive effect on her. They had a great relationship with each other. He helped her stand up to Joe. She helped him gain confidence in himself to be able to ask Pam out.
Yep, I think it was a positive message that you need friends and that your friends can help you, especially through those dating years, which can be rough. What I would have loved to see is a scene where Pam or Becky really did talk to Joe and say, you can't do this anymore, we're done. I mean, that would have been very empowering for girls to see. Maybe that's why it wasn't in the video. I don't know. But it was a different day. Absolutely.
Yeah, there's no LDS elements in this short whatsoever. In fact, there's no Christian elements whatsoever. And a lot of times they would do these in these older movies in order to give it a quote unquote mass appeal. How did you feel about the lack of church elements in the film?
Yeah, I agree with you. Just to give it a more universal appeal. Again, I'll say like Johnny Lingo, something like that, where it could be shown in different places. But, it has a message that you could apply and also read between the lines to be LDS or Christian. So you could definitely show this and then talk about some themes and put your own spin on it if you wanted to.
I had a big problem earlier in the film, which we didn't get into at the time, but the guys were whistling at Becky while they're driving past the diner. And Scott asks Becky, doesn't that make you mad? Well, I mean, shouldn't he be standing up for her and saying, hey, guys, that's unacceptable. We don't do that kind of thing. But he doesn't say anything about it. Instead, he just does a karate chop in the air, but he actually doesn't confront a very lewd passersby. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that was because just culturally, you expected some people to act like that and you just put up with it.
Yeah.
I mean, all of us that were raised in the 80s or were teenagers in the 80s, you knew that shit, and you just kind of tried to ignore it.
Yeah, and she said, I guess I'm used to it. In other words, I see. But the problem with a film like this is when you let that kind of thing go by, you don't confront it, and then Becky says, well, I'm just used to it. It's kind of an implicit, or you're kind of complicit in allowing these negative interactions to fester. And I do have a problem with that. Now, they said there's another reviewing service out there that's called Latter-day Saint Video Vault. And they do a lot of great reviews of old LDS films as well. And I want to read their final sentence on this, which I think is a pretty good sentiment to finish out on. It says, in the final assessment, this film is sweet, funny, and a bit ridiculous. It's reinforced by bumbling bassoon underscoring throughout. Through playing with extremes, it teaches that talking to others and building social relationships takes effort and doesn't come naturally to everyone. Today's teens and tweens may not find the appeal. And, what's a phone book? Oh, wait, I have to talk to someone and not text? But perhaps seeing someone so awkward would make them realize it's okay to take risks, and it's okay to be the friend who helps others take risks. The phone call could still serve as a humorous way to open up a dating standards night. Have church health unit doctors and nurses standing by in case of debilitating eye rolls. How do you feel about Latter-day Saint video? What do you think about that?
No, I think that's basically what we were saying too, is it has that universal appeal because it can talk to you about fostering friendships and counting on friends and being there for friends and helping others. So absolutely. I've also heard this compared to or called the first Napoleon Dynamite, because Scott definitely has that quirky, lovable, but wise, vulnerable kind of personality that is attractive, and people like to watch that.
Absolutely. Now, thanks so much, Rebecca, for being the first co-host on this. I really appreciate that. Hopefully we can have you back again another time to review another film. And for our viewers out there, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And join us next time for another episode of the Mormon Movie Reviews, where LDS movie lovers belong, where we will review Mr. Krueger's Christmas. So long.